So I've recently read Berserk and it's amazing. It's really good. It's probably one of the best. It is definitely one of the best mangas I've ever read. And to be fair, I don't read that much mangas. The only mangas I've ever read were like Chainsaw Man, One Punch Man, mashle, and Dog. But apart from those, I haven't read that too much mangas. And Berserk just recently added to that list. I really like Berserk. I love everything about it. The world, the story, the character development of everyone, and stuff like that. Let me just hurry up and get started. In the first part, Guts's character development was a bit weird for me because I'm sorry, when I was reading the prologue, Guts kind of came off as an edgelord, and I'm not saying being edgy is like bad. I'm just saying he kind of came off as an edgelord. But after the Golden Age arc and seeing how he actually acts, like in the Golden Age arc, I was like, damn, he's actually a really chill ass dude, you know what I mean? And seeing everything that happened to him, you'll definitely understand why he was that way in the first place. And speaking of the Golden Age arc, I really like the characters, but I felt like the only characters that we only really got the most, like, how can I say this? Like let's be honest, the real main characters, apart from like Judo, Pimpin, and this annoying nigga, I forgot his name, but I feel like it was Casca, Guts, and Griffith. It was all about those three, not really about anybody else. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. And I really like to see how Casca and Guts grew together, and she went from hating him to liking him. And that sex scene or whatever between them was probably one of the most, like, damn, that's actually pretty good. Like, I'm not in a weird perverted way or anything, just mean that, like, how Guts was scarred from everything, because he was, well, what's his name, the big guy or whatever. Yeah, you already know. But it was kind of like sweet seeing both of them just like releasing stress or whatever. You get it. I really like that. Another thing is, fuck Griffith. This is gonna be spoilers. Like, everything in this video is gonna be spoilers. Fuck Griffith. Fuck him and everything. It's like Griffith really turned on his homeboys and said, fuck y'all. I'll do he's a snake, bro. He will step on his people just to get where he's at in life. And you know what's, that's the most fucked up shit I've ever seen, bro. Especially what he did to Casca. Cause yeah, murdering a bunch of your men is one thing, but seeing a girl, especially your friend, well, not necessarily your friend, cause he doesn't necessarily see people that's not equal to him as his friends. That's like Superman saving a little girl from a burning building, only for him in the future to burn her in a different building while they're friends and everything. That's the same thing with Guts, but with Casca and Griffith, except replace burning building with, well, sexual assault. And bro, why did he, that shit was fucked up. Like, that shit was really, really fucked up. But and the thing, how her brain was mentally regressed into a childlike state, it was very sad for Casca, man. It just traumatized her, and it traumatized Guts too, because technically it wasn't his girlfriend, but it was kind of his girlfriend. Seeing her getting that done to her in front of you, but what the fuck? And oh my gosh, bro. And not only that, man, you could definitely tell why Guts was so angry in the Lost Children arc and whatever. He was dead ass angry as hell. In the Lost Children arc and the arc with, I know I'm gonna say her name wrong, the Farnese, the crazy masochist, horny girl, her. I could definitely see why Guts was very, very angry in those two arcs. And yeah, I think Lost Children arc was one of my favorite arcs too, because that's directly after the Golden Age arc in a way. Not directly after, but you could definitely see all the pent up rage and shit like that. And the arc with the witch girl is not necessarily an arc, but the time when the witch girl gets introduced, I feel like I enjoyed it more then because it wasn't like as dark as the other two, as the previous arcs, but it was definitely, you know, still fun to watch, because you could definitely see that Guts is a bit happier because he has like a lot of people he can rely on and shit like that, and it makes me so happy to see Guts that way, man. Like, I feel like Guts now recently is at the point where he was at in the Golden Age arc, where he was just like this big chill dude who doesn't really get, I mean, he will get angry, but he's not like a super edgelord or anything. Or yeah, so yeah, it makes me feel good to see Guts. And by the way, big spoiler alert, it kind of saddens me that even though Casca got back her memories and everything, it's like, you know, she still can't see Guts, or it's like intense PTSD will just fucking flash, like she'll just, you know, will just go back into her brain. So yeah, it's a bittersweet moment. It's really a bittersweet moment. What was I gonna say? Now I'm almost at the end of the video, so let me just tell you the things I really like about Berserk and the things I don't like. Let me just say, the things that I do like about Berserk is definitely like the story. Obviously, the artwork is amazing. The artwork in Berserk is fucking amazing. The story, the artwork, I mean the character development of like each characters, especially like Guts, like, you know, especially Guts, Casca, and my personal favorite was Farnese or Finesse. I don't care what her name is. I don't even know what her name is, man. But yeah, her character development was nice. She went from this, you know, but I like her character development. And the things that I didn't really like about Berserk all that much, and is low-key the amount of times it relies on sexual, like, I mean, like, amount of time it relies on sexual assault to prove like, oh, it's dark or whatever. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that like that type of thing can be used in a story if it's like related to, like, again, the plot. For example, what happened to Casca, that's something that's related to plot, and Casca's whole mental state was messed up because of that. And, you know, so it was definitely, you can definitely see why it makes sense there, you know what I mean? But I feel like the unnecessary ones, like, are just like weird as hell. Like, you know, I'm not saying, like, it is kind of weird, I ain't gonna lie, and I can definitely see why some people would get turned off by that. But yeah, oh, by the way, RIP to the author of Berserk, RIP to him. And yeah, as I say, I really love Berserk. It's a good series, and I can't wait for the most recent, can't wait for the other chapter to release. And speaking of other chapters, the most recent chapter was like, come on, bro. Guts went all his way to get back Casca to her mental state and, well, technically save her again, to just losing her, man. That shit was kind of messed up, but you know, whatever, bro. Yeah, that's the end of the video. And yeah.